So, in today's 10 minutes review, we have our very first showreel review for 10 minutes, of course. So, Quentin submitted a showreel on our feedback channel in Discord, and I thought, why not actually do showreel reviews here in these 10-minute reviews, because a lot of people want their showreels reviewed, and I'll try to do the best I can within 10 minutes. So, let's get started. Without further ado, let's look at Quentin's work, because he has a good showreel. I think there's a lot of things that need changing or perhaps taking off from the showreel, but I'll walk you guys through it as we look at the showreel. So I'm just going to actually get my trusty timer, and I'm going to put 10 minutes on the clock. Let's get started. Animation studies as well. That's cool. I really like this. I'll tell you more about it in a second. Attack combo system. This is cool. That's it. All right. So thanks a lot, Quentin, for submitting your work. Really cool stuff. Now, I'm going to start with the positives as usual, right? So I think that your showreel shows a lot of potential. And I think that your skills are getting to a point that you are hireable. Now, I think that you need to shuffle a few things around and maybe remove some things in order to make your showreel better. Now, like the things that I like the most, definitely like this looks interesting to say the least. I like what you're doing with the locomotion. I like what you're doing here with the acting, a bit of acting. The piece definitely showcases a beginning, middle, and end. So that's awesome. Something that is missing from a lot of showreels. And this also has a beginning, middle, and end, even though it's really tiny. And I like the fact that you are studying certain shots in order to better your skills as an animator. This is really, really cool. And then this stuff here that you actually put your animations in game, in Unreal, and actually do the logic yourself, also showcases a lot of initiative from your side, which is actually always a good thing to have in your showreel. And it gets game developers like myself excited to actually kind of talk to you more about it, right? So that's the good stuff. Now for the bad stuff. So you obviously, based on your showreel, want to be a gameplay animator, right? And this is great because obviously, you know, gameplay is the best. I'm not biased at all. I am actually. But this is actually really cool because it showcases that you really want to get into games. You go as far as looking at Unreal and animation systems and animation logic, and this is really awesome. So based on that premise that you want to be a gameplay animator, here's the things that I think that you should take out from your showreel, right? So the very first thing that you should take out is basically the study bit of your shots, right? So these bits here are really good as an exercise, and this here as well is really good as an exercise for yourself. But because it's a study, because it's obviously something that is copied from somewhere, you should not actually add it to your showreel, because what you want to actually showcase in your showreel is original pieces that come from your mind. Because to me, what I'm interested in is to find out exactly how creative Quentin is, instead of actually finding out that you can copy things one to one, right? So when I look at your showreel and you get interviewed, let's say I call you for an interview because your showreel is so awesome, I'm gonna most likely ask you about like 1 or 2 or 3 pieces in your showreel on your thought process and what was interesting about it, and how do you actually come up with this idea, especially things that are interesting to me, right? This is why you should take your studies out. And then when it comes to the quality of the animation, I feel like some animations are newer than others. So anything that is old that you yourself can see mistakes, you should take out from your showreel, right? Because if you can see the mistakes, guaranteed somebody else that is actually professional and has been doing it for many years, they will most likely see your mistakes as well. So I think this piece here has a lot of potential. Definitely a good piece for your showreel. It's great. But the piece that comes after is very similar, and it feels like it doesn't give you a lot, right? And it doesn't actually shine as high or as bright as the previous scene. So it kind of goes, it starts well, and then it goes into the kind of the same similar piece with swords, but it finishes really quickly. So I don't think this adds to your showreel. I think it takes away from your showreel. So you should take this out. I assume that this is older than this piece here, because this one looks a little bit better. I also think that you should keep this because this is good, the little guy going in. I don't think you should start with this piece. I feel like this is not your stronger piece. Perhaps start with this one. This is actually a better piece than the other one. And definitely keep your in-game stuff, right? The in-game animations. Now, I absolutely love this. This is really, really cool. You should definitely keep this. Perhaps keep it slightly shorter, but what you have here is good enough. I like why you actually playing with root motion, locomotion. What you can actually add to this is add a link or a video to your in-game animations that you did in Maya, and then showcase the in-game stuff. Because for me as a game developer, I definitely want to see the end result. But before the end result, showcase to me like 2 or 3 or 4 of the animations that you've done in order to achieve your root motion, locomotion, right? Same thing with this, like you can actually kind of like, it adds to the momentum of your showreel as well, because you're gonna have Maya animation, then you're gonna have a gameplay Unreal animation, and then as soon as you start the IK food system, same thing, right? Another thing that you can do as well is perhaps showcase a little bit of the background on how the IK food system works, maybe the foot markers, the sync markers that you have, and the custom turns that you did in order to achieve that stuff, right? So you can actually use that in the same showreel, or perhaps create a more detailed, more longer type of showreel that goes more in depth on how you achieve certain things by showcasing some of the Unreal buttons and settings that you have in order to achieve the systems that you have, right? In the lock-on system, same thing. Showcase the animations, perhaps if you have stretchy animations, showcase those definitely in Maya. And for the attack combo system, same thing. Showcase the animations that you have individually, and then showcase the final result in game, right? Now, some of these animations need to be a little bit more polished, but because you are a brand new animator, because I assume that you don't work in the games industry, I think this is more than enough for you to actually start kind of showcasing to a potential employer that you are not only interested in animations, but also interested in the game aspect, in the game building aspect, right? That you have. So in my previous videos, I go on a lot about thinking systematically, which means that you have to think about the systems that go with your animations. So animation in games is not just about the animation that you do in Maya, but it's also about how are you going to implement these individual animations into one, and how they are going to interact with each other. And to me, as a potential employer, what this is telling me is that you already understand the systems behind the animations that you're creating, right? So you're creating animations with the intention to put them all together to create a root motion locomotion, for example, right? Or to create IK food system and turnarounds, right? And this is really valuable for you. It's going to be very valuable for you as a potential animator that actually works in games. And this goes for either if you work in an indie studio or if you work in a AAA studio. People want to know that they can hire somebody that is not only an animator, but also can implement things in game, right? Or at least understands the logic behind implementing animations in game and the iterative process that we go through as gameplay animators. So you having this is a massive win. So keep going. If you can create more of this, then definitely do it. But just make sure that you focus on the animation quality first and then on the system building second, right? Your animation should shine much more than the animation building, the animation systems that you're creating. And that's what you should keep in mind, because a lot of studios out there, sometimes they actually spend way too much time on the technical side and very little on the animation, and it kind of shows in the end game, right? So if you do those things, I think you're gonna be golden. Cool, Showreel. Thanks for sharing. Okay, so that is basically all that I wanted to share with you guys today. Once again, if you like your animations or your Showreels reviewed, once again, make sure that you go over to our Discord, join us. We have a really good community sharing all kinds of content. But most importantly, these 10-minute reviews are just like a taster of what you guys can get with my workshop. So in my workshop, animation.harveynewman.com, I have different types of mentorships that you can join in. And then depending on how long you need it, we can actually do this one-on-one instead of actually doing it here on YouTube. So if you're interested, definitely join me. And I cannot go away without thanking my Patreons. I actually have a few more this month, which I'm highly thankful. So if you like this content, if you enjoy it, definitely join me on Patreon if you like, join us on Discord if you can. And if you're not, then definitely subscribe, like, and drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think. And that's all I had for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And until the next video, stay well, stay safe. Peace.